This meeting is being recorded.
Okay, Dennis, go ahead.
Good evening. I'm Dennis Adams, Chair of the Brighton Conservation Board. This is our meeting for August 9th, 2022. And with me tonight is our Vice Chair, Karen Berger, our Staff Secretary, Rick DiStefano. I don't see our liaison on the town board, Christine Corrado. Perhaps she'll join us later. George Smith, David Bryden, Paul Johnson, and Rebecca Negley. So good evening to all of you. First, we have the public forum. We have anyone here for that, Rick?
I don't believe so, no.
All right. So I'll call for an approval of the minutes for July 12th of 2022. All right. All in favor? All right. Communications.
Just Dennis, just for the record, let me state that the minutes were approved.
Okay. No presentations, I assume, or do we?
No.
Do you have any? Okay. All right. Project review. 8P01-22, application of Wendy Frieda and Bruce Dan, site plan modification to allow for changes to grading and stormwater control in conjunction with the construction of a new home on property located at 575 Winton Road South.
John, are you there?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Uh,
If you can see the screen, I do have your plan up. I don't know if you want to start with the previous plan or if you would like to go right to the modified plan.
well, I think if we stay at the modified plan, I'll just do a quick overview of where we are. So the board may remember this project 2 years ago. We came to the Conservation Board and the Planning Board on behalf of the Frieda and Dans regarding the demolition of 2 existing homes and construction of 1 new home on these 2 lots. That project was approved by the Planning Board and the Zoning Board with some minor variances. Construction started, and I think everything was well in hand, constructed over the summer, and then over the last fall. And then early this spring, close to the time of a C of O, the town became aware of there was some changes to the plan that impacted the grading. And as we look at the site plan that Rick has up, the changes in my mind are kind of minor, but are significant. The major issues with site plans of this size are, make sure that the garage floors and the first floor of the house and the grading in the front that meet the original intended plan. And this does that. What happened this spring is we feel that the landscaper got a little aggressive with his grading and the wishes of his client. What basically happened in the rear of the yard is the client and the homeowner put 1,500 square foot of artificial turf behind their house and also raised the grade in that area approximately a foot. They also installed some rock landscaping wall treatments and I think it's a 5-foot board on board vinyl fence along the rear and north property line. In doing that, they kind of blocked the drainage or diverted the drainage to the north, which could impact Mr. Feldman's house, who's immediately north on Winton Road. So we met with the town engineer, the landscaper, and went out and did a topographic survey. So the map that you see before you tonight is the existing condition as the property was back in, let's just say, May. And so what we decided to do is there is some perimeter drains that we tied in the area where the AstroTurf is, and those are tied into the original storm sewer system. But we created a pocket in this plan, created a pocket of drainage at the northeast corner of our property. So we propose an 8-inch PVC pipe, storm pipe, that would start at the northwest corner and drain towards the front of the house. And that's where you see the grading elements. And that's where the original drainage was intended to go. There is an existing landscape berm with several spruce trees planted in that area. And we intend to extend that berm along our north property line so that we do not impact Mr. Feldman. I've personally met with Mr. Feldman, I believe 3 times on the property, so I can give him a comfort level that we're trying to make sure that this drainage doesn't impact him. I believe that he's spoken to my clients as well. I intend to keep Mr. Feldman involved with this project every step of the way. But he understands that he's reviewed it and he believes this would work as well. We've worked with the town engineer. The town engineer has had this plan, and we're waiting for comments from him. So that's kind of where we are. We're trying to make sure that the drainage doesn't negatively impact any of the neighbors and goes where it was intended to, which is really surface drainage back to Winton Road. And I think this plan accomplishes that. We're waiting for additional comments from Everett, and we are on the planning board meeting for August 17th. So that's kind of a quick overview of what this plan represents. I think, like most of these projects, the landscaping goes well beyond what we show on our original plan. But I think the storm pipe and the other grading elements will alleviate any problems for the neighbors.
I think a couple things just to keep in mind that under the original plan, there was vegetation back here that was removed. And now again, as John had mentioned, there's a rock barrier and a board-on-board style fence. John, just so the board is aware, you have the pipe opens at this point in here and kind of flows towards the street. Am I correct with that?
That's correct. Yeah, it's kind of funny what in our engineering minds, we decided to run 1/10 contours and instead of 1 foot contours. So it looks like there's a lot of grading here, but it's very, very flat. So the invert of the pipe at the northwest corner of the site where the water would enter is at 503.15, and it drains about 7 inches, a little lower at 502.5 roughly. But that's where it's going, Rick.
And just for the board's knowledge too, is that these drains that John had mentioned earlier, there's one in the AstroTurf area, there's a couple that are up in the patio area. They all get collected and actually go in this direction down and then into an infiltration device to help for, am I right, John, control and quality.
Yeah, it's that was sized for water quality and control, and then after it fills in that, it does eventually turn with heavy flows go into the storm sewer system out into Winton Road, and all the roof leaders for the house are attached to that system as well.
I have a question. In the photographs that were sent along with this, we can see the AstroTurf and we see the fence and the rocks, and then there's this wide dirt area. Is that also going to be covered by the AstroTurf, or what's going in that strip?
That'll be landscape elements, plantings, and more landscape materials. The AstroTurf is at its limits.
Okay, and that pipe the under drain is near the edge of that, correct? Like,
yeah, it's going to go under a portion of all that planting bed. Yes, we'll have to pull all that out and replace it when we install the pipe.
Okay, so the vegetation's going to be sort of shallow rooted things that won't influence that, then, or?
Yes.
So John, the infiltration pipe is going to be between this rock wall that might have to be removed or moved, and between the fence. Am I correct with that?
Yeah, it's gonna go underneath the fence at the corner and then stay between the AstroTurf and the rocks as it goes to the east.
Right, along this side, right?
Yeah,
And it's
I see
gonna-
the pictures of.
You see the picture?
Yep.
And then, but along this back property line, it's between the fence and the rock wall.
Correct. Well, no, it's gonna be beyond the fence. The fence does not run along the property line in that area. It kind of cuts the corner.
So it's gonna be on the back side of the fence,
Correct.
and that's not gonna be on the neighboring property.
Nope, it's gonna be between the fence and the power pole and between the fence and the large tree that exists. You can see where that's kind of a chamfered corner of the fence. It doesn't make a 90-degree turn.
Mhm, mhm.
This is David. I have a question. Driving by, I see a lot of, I assume it's turf is put down between the main two-story house and the one-story house to the south of it. Is that natural turf? Looks like it.
I believe everything else is going to be natural turf, other than what's in place currently.
Mhm.
So you're talking in this area, David?
Yes, sir.
My understanding, that's all natural. Pool will be back in here. Brick patio, AstroTurf, brick patio, pool, detached garage, and then the rest regular turf. Except for they have some, if you remember, they have a kind of a grass paver system for if a
The
car
driveway.
driveway
Yeah.
paver, and then gravel up toward right away line. Gravel is that paved up by the right of way line? Do you know, John?
I think it's I think it's going to be gravel. Yeah. Intended to look like grass.
Right. Any additional comments, questions? Do you have anything that you want to relay to the planning board?
None of you? No questions? Okay. So are we good with this?
Any comments for the planning board or no comments? No comments?
Nope, I guess not, Rick.
Okay, John.
All right. Well, thank you for your time and have a good evening. Look forward to seeing you on the next project.
All right, John.
John.
Take care.
All right. Do we have an EMC report?
We do not. The council is still on its summer hiatus, so I expect
Okay.
they're. I
Nice
think
and easy.
September. Yeah. Take it
Nice and-
easy.
Do we have a green report? Nope. Okay. Staff report? New business?
Report.
Old business? Boy, this is so easy. And I see there are no trees either.
No trees either.
Wow. Well, then I guess it's time to hear a motion to adjourn. All right. All right. I see we have enough to carry that. The motion is carried. Thank you all for your service this evening, and
Thank you, everybody. How does September 13th look for everybody? September,
I may be out of the country. then.
you'll be out there?
Yeah.
Lucky you. Okay, thank you. Have a good night.
Good night,
Good evening.
everybody.